Hi, I'm Dr. Hisham, and in this video series, I would like to speak with you about holistic health. What does that mean from my perspective? What does it mean for us as a collective? And where are we going with all this growth of our knowledge and understanding and awareness of the need that we have to ascend to a higher level of communication, of creating healing methods and healing products and healing thoughts and healing foods, rather than descending, as we have been over the last few generations, into this state where we're conditioned to accept what's given to us, what's told to us by so many corporations and entities that have no vested interest in human beings, actually, other than seeing them as sources of profit. How do we ascend back into creating our own ways of healing, from our mind health, mental health, to our body health, to collective health, so that we can all become heroes in our journeys to ourselves, to our kids, to our environment that we have, as you all know by now, we have really not been nice to. And of course, what's happening is it's not being nice to us back. So it's time for us to look at ourselves as truly who we are and what we are, which is an ecosystem, a collective, as well as individuals. We're an ecosystem living within an ecosystem. So how do we look and care for all of this better so that we can become better and overcome, basically transcend this ever increasing state of chronic diseases, degenerative diseases, breakdowns, environmental breakdowns, individual breakdowns, collective breakdowns that are happening within societies? How do we transcend all that? By ascending to a higher level of awareness and acceptance of each other, working together, like I said, and not being victimized by authorities or corporates or any individual who keeps telling us how to live our lives and what to feed our children and what to put in our mouths and what to put in our bodies and what to put in our minds and in our hearts, to our own detriment. So let's go back to the beginning. How do I define holistic health? Holistic means whole, means wholesome, means one unit, looking at everything as one unit. Everything is within the sphere of energy, energetic sphere basically of existence, where everything that's within it is affecting each other constantly. In this entangled quantum field, everything that changes something else, because everything happens simultaneously. So looking at our existence and our bodies and our minds as one thing, that's actually what they are. One thing that has multiple parts in it. Any part that changes will shift another part. Whether it's to the positive or to the negative, that's another question. The main thing that we need to understand is everything acts as one, exists as one, as a whole feedback, a wholesome feedback loop that feeds itself. So every part affects the other. I'll draw this in a diagram later on, and I'll show you what I mean by that more visually, because we understand things more when we see them. And how do I define health? Health is a dynamic state of bringing back balance. So it's about the dynamic ability of a human body, human mind, an ecosystem, an environmental ecosystem, to bring back the balance constantly. So it's not a state of absence of disease or nothing going wrong or nothing breaking down. These are natural processes that coexist with what we consider health or being at ease or being in flow at the same time. But the ability to overshadow those dis-ease states, those bad negative states, with something that's more positive, more light that overshadows the darkness, while the darkness always exists, is what is considered health. A healthy body is constantly balancing back. It is not balanced, it is not in a static state. So even homeostasis, the word, is not really correct in terms of defining a flowing state as static. Is not really what I would like to define it as, because it's a dynamic state. So dynamically, we're creating ways, methods, thoughts, molecules, chemicals, biosignals, etc., to so-called maintain homeostasis, maintain that balanced state by balancing back. So when do things go wrong? When we lose that ability to balance back, to biobalance basically, then the disease takes over. Whether it's acute or chronic or lifelong, and all these diseases are increasing in number these days on a global scale, that tells us that we need to up the stakes in terms of our awareness and understanding of what is going on. How come we are losing that ability to balance back? How can we bring it more into a balancing state? How can we feed our bodies, feed our minds, feed our environment, feed our ecosystem, feed our microbiome the right material to create new states of balance, better states of healing, and more energy flow that overcomes and overshadows any states of dis-ease that are naturally, like I said, happening anyway in the background. We need to overshadow them with states of ease.